today is my sister's birthday, my Irish twin. So now the period where we're both the same age is now over. It's her birthday. We went to the first Friday high frequency at the High Museum in Atlanta, where basically they turned the museum into a club. That shit was banging. I
Yeah.
really went for the art pieces and the dancing, but it was dope. What's not dope is $33 for every drink, but and $120 Uber XL to get there. But oh, then we went to I forget the name of the place. It's called like uh begins with a B, but they served a whole bunch, like you just order a whole bunch of like little plates.
Mhm.
Bro, shit was lit.
Yeah.
Lamb skewers, paella, mac and cheese, some shrimp on and like on this bread with the garlic aioli. It was just like man, it was just lit. Had a great old time. And today I got to run errands for my niece. I got a bank appointment at noon, and then uh we're having an overnight adult sleepover at my sister's house. So spades, karaoke, da 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 da, and then brunch Sunday morning, and then top golf Sunday evening. Listen, I don't want to do any of this shit. I'm tired, cranky, and I didn't watch any of the fucking challenge before today.
Well, and there's a big controversy because MTV dropped which I wish you would have led with that because I felt so bad yesterday when I like sent you that graphic. I was like, hey, this could be like good talking point. We can use this tomorrow. Like normally I'm behind you on the episode, but yeah, MTV dropped essentially spoiled the show. I don't know, like a week in advance. And not
Yeah,
only did they drop it, it stayed up there until like Monday morning, Tuesday afternoon.
yeah, fucking idiots,
It'd be
idiots.
it'd be different if like I understand like if you want to like draw hype to who can win, like give us a TikTok version, 60 seconds, showing each team kind of excelling at something, and then being like, who's gonna come away with the money tonight? Tune in. Like that would have been better than
I d-
just giving
I
it
don't think it
away.
was done on purpose. The fact that they just left it up too, it just says, what the fuck. So I did get spoiled before I watched it, but it wasn't a huge thing. But watching the episode, I was definitely surprised. And let me tell you something though.
Because I also knew the result before watching it, and
Huh?
I was like, I almost like
How?
forgot and was
Yeah,
like,
same. I was like, how? Let me tell you something. The season was good. It was very enjoyable.
yep,
It was a little long. And
yes.
everybody in the final deserved to be there, and I was happy to see them back, even if I didn't like them. Sydney, I,
Here's the thing, though, Sydney. Okay,
is
this
a
is such a
beast.
weird. It's such a weird world we live in, right? Because Sydney is just doing everything that Wes and Jordan and old CT like let a lot of arrogant men do, and there's this problem that when a woman does it, man, she's just so it's just
You know what?
agonizing to listen to her.
Okay. And the general saying of things, yes, you're probably right when it
Yeah,
comes to the general public. But I like me arrogant women. Have you seen my wife? Seen my sister? I'm surrounded
yeah.
by arrogant women. Um, you know who is arrogant? Evelyn. Evelyn was
And
arrogant.
yeah, I'm a big
I
Evelyn
loved
fan.
Evelyn. So no, arrogant woman doesn't bother me. I just don't like Sydney. But even then, even while saying that, I can also say I would love to see her back. I think she's great for the challenge. And to do all that and to come in placed where she placed, why not? Why not? I could deal with that shit. We need strong personalities to shake this house up. But let's go ahead and kick this shit off.
So it was really bad timing. It got me good,
Get tired of your shit.
dude. I'm sorry,
Just let
man.
you. All
I
right.
don't know if you, I don't know if you noticed, Carolina Panthers been doing pretty well, so I'm bringing back the dab. So
I actually have been paying less and less attention to football. Even though my Giants, there's a lot of promise there.
yeah,
It's tough. It's tough. But all right. What's really good, pot stirrers? Welcome to another episode of Love, War, Challenges. I am MTV Malik. He is Tyler Louder. What's really good in today's episode? Apparently, Theo is only built for speed. Sydney is still annoying. Turbo gets a boo boo. And Olivia and Yeremi overcome the straight odds. Now, while watching this, I know we've changed up how we do things in our format a little bit, but I think we could just go checkpoint by checkpoint,
I think. Well, here
and we don't have to do every checkpoint.
why don't we just talk about the first fact that we got 2 new winners, which is a fantastic thing to kind of get in there before we dive through each checkpoint on how we kind of got there. And I mean, at the very end of the day, Olivia Yeremi, like I told you going into this, there's 3 teams that could win that have never won a championship before. I want more winners on the show. Like I need more winners. And I think knowing what I knew going into the final of who was going to win, I was very entertained. I was happy with it. I just want to address some people online, which we probably should just get rid of, like the online fans of the challenge. Not get rid of, but like ignore, because like they just complain about everything.
Listen, us challenge fans are never going to be happy. It's just not
Like
what we do.
people
We're
sitting here
miserable
going,
sons of bitches, and
yeah.
we've accepted that. I've accepted that.
At times we need to kind of step back and just kind of view this as like a sporting view, even if you don't think it's sport. But like I see people out there saying like Olivia didn't deserve to win. Olivia didn't deserve. First of all, Olivia was like target number 1, episode 1. Hear me? Target number 1, episode 1. The whole season.
Yeremi was clocked immediately as saying this guy is going to be dangerous in the final. Big surprise, he's pretty fucking dangerous in the final. Knew since Olivia's first season that she had it in her to win one
Yep.
of these things. And I
Same.
know everybody was just like, oh, Horacio dragged her, and carried her. I don't believe that to be true. She contributed majorly, especially in the social area that Horacio was terrible at. And she did her thing this season. She was targeted very early on, took a lot of heat. I think Theo did a great job being her meat shield, and he contributed too. Not so much in the final, but I'm very happy with the winners and very satisfied with the winners and very happy with how it was presented to us.
Absolutely, 100%. So I just want to kind of address it out there. If here's the thing, if you make a final, you deserve to be there. If you
Yes,
win the final, you deserve to win the final. It's a
facts.
partner's thing. Simple as that.
So there's something that pissed me off,
Go
and I
ahead.
always say we don't need eating in the challenge. It can go. There's something else. There's something
I've
else.
heard this a lot.
Yes, there's something else that can go. And I've seen it before. I didn't like it before, and I hate it now. And what I hate is nobody should have to wait at a station for another competitor. It should no get it out of here. I'm okay with head to head, but come on, it's too big of an equalizer.
So the only problem is that when you have a multi-day final, there has to be something, some factor to it. So let's play devil's advocate. Let's kind of argue on this point. Yes, team Sydney and Turbo had to wait twice. However, Sydney and Turbo got more rest than everybody else. Like, let's talk about the first one, River Run. They do the kayak. They do the rune memory where they're running these. I mean, it looked like they ran a lot. I wish they would have
It
told
was a
us the
lot of running.
distance. It looked like every loop they did on day 1 was like 2 to 3 miles just to
If not
do
longer.
a loop. Yeah. And everything they did. So when they get to the stair machine joust, I mean, Sydney and Turbo got to rest for, I don't know, maybe 30 minutes, have fresh legs. Then they won, got to go to the next area, got to rest for like another 40 minutes before somebody else. Like they were more rested going into day 2 than anybody else. And then we have the punishment of Turbo and Sydney got an extra hour of sleep over second place, an extra 2 hours of sleep over third place, and an extra 4 hours of sleep over fourth place. That is very beneficial because
It is.
they were only ahead probably of Yeremi and Olivia by 20 minutes, maybe. You know what I mean? Like after on day 1, before they got to like the sleeping portion. Oh, getting an extra hour to 2 hour over them, I think is a huge benefit.
You know what? And I just realized the whole point that they even exist is to make sure there's no huge leads in the
Right.
final,
Yeah.
which I don't love. I don't know. I didn't love it. I didn't love it. We've seen the Connect Four before. And here goes the funny thing is, I was actually surprised that I enjoyed all of the stations, mostly, for the most
Yeah.
part. There was no station I outright just, freaking hated or didn't think it was necessary. I was glad they put a little bit of swimming in. I'm glad that it was cold, but it wasn't a freaking blizzard like, like Free Agents. So I was very happy with the final, and it looked tough. I respected it as a tough final.
Here's the big thing. And I know some people were arguing like, well, they could have just waited a little longer. They could have just taken their time here and not had to. But here's the problem. If Yeremi and Olivia get to that Stairmaster first, they probably beat Turbo and Sydney because as soon as Yeremi and Olivia showed up, they had to start immediately the Stairmaster. Where Turbo and like Sydney got to rest for like 20 minutes. Her legs are a little more rested. She's stretched out. Yeremi jump on a Stairmaster after just running, 12 miles, get straight on it. No rest. So and then they end up falling back, So we end up seeing how the benefit of getting there first really there was a big stake to it. Could they have like, hey, whoever gets here first has one less thing than the second team to get here, and then third has, one more thing, and fourth has one more thing? Sure. Is it weird there was no eating in the final? Yes, especially after what we had in the mid-season.
I thought it was great. I thought it was great. I didn't
Well,
miss it at all. I didn't even think about it till you just said it.
there's a lot of people that were mad that there was no eating in the final. I'm not a big person that thinks you should eat, but
Those
like
people can fuck off.
some people
For
just
all I
like
care.
watching people throw up, man. They just like watching because that's all that
Who likes
happens.
that?
Some people do. It's weird.
Who like Jesus? Watching people throw it. It's gross. It's gross and unnecessary. It's so and don't get me wrong. I'm okay with the challenge being unserious in some places. This is not a place we need to be unserious at, especially in the final. I loved how the women kept up. There were it was really the men who've been struggling the most, except for maybe a Cedric.
Yeah, I think on day one, all the women. Well, actually, I would say most. Actually, here's what it is. On day one, all of the rookies carried.
Mm,
That's the way to do it.
mm. The rookies really did care, and you know what? Sydney said that too. She said, I think it was during the Stairmaster joust or whatever.
Yeah.
She was just like, rookies are killing it right now, and these vets are dying. And she said she lost a lot of respect for the vets.
Yeah, but here's the thing: if you weren't forced to be vet and rookie pairs, most of these rookies probably wouldn't have made the final. Like if it wasn't
Yeah.
a pairing like this, I think Sydney goes into elimination a lot earlier. She's not protected the whole game. I think Yeremi's not protected as much. I think the vets run away with this season if we don't force it in their hand. Of like, nope, this is the theme, so we have to
Well,
theme.
yeah, listen, all of these things, they're just dressed up fresh meats. We know what it is.
Yeah.
Um, you know, at the end of day one, man, let me ask you, and I couldn't believe this. This to me was so important, but I can't believe that nobody stick to claim.
Well, so I think the problem was is that people didn't know what it was. People didn't know if it was going to make them too exhausted, and if they could claim, how does that work with your positioning? I think this. So this is what I saw a fan actually put this. This is one good thing a fan online said. Is that they should have brought out the eating portion from the mini final as the stake claim, so that way nobody has to like gas themselves out with like a physical challenge. And it's
I
like,
would have been
okay,
okay
you
with
want to
that.
stake, a claim? Remember those 3 items that nobody really wanted to eat during the mini final? You have to out eat them in this, and you can't throw up. And if you throw up, you're out. And that right there would have been, okay, can I eat an onion, a garlic, and a whatever the thing was
That's a great
before?
idea. Great idea. Whoever came up with that, that was great.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
More specifically, so when it comes to the stake of the claim, Theo should not have staked on Olivia.
No, it would have slowed it.
Be-
It would have been rad.
exactly, because if y'all coming forth, then the risk is too high.
Yeah.
The risk was too high.
I'm surprised Sydney didn't want to stake a claim on Yeremi. Like that's the only
At the time,
one.
but at the time they're one. So why change it up? And Turbo's already a champ, so I get that.
True.
The juice might not have been worth the squeeze, and you're dealing with the unknown. Um, so I kind of get that too. I think she should have kind of read that Turbo was having a really tough time during this final. But
It
I
must be
think
so much warmer in Turkey than like we know climate-wise because
Yeah, he
these
doesn't like the
cold
cold at all.
situations. So it makes me wonder, you know how like he won the hardest final in history?
Uh-huh.
If
It was
it
hot.
wasn't in a hot climate area,
Yeah. Who
Theo might be
knows?
a champion. Wes might be a champion on that season. Um, you know, Ninja might have won some money if it was a cold weather thing. So it's like crazy. It's crazy because like we know historically cold finals CT doesn't do well in. You know, like we
Right.
know that. Like he can do all right, but like it struggles the more muscle mass you have. Yeah, so it's interesting. I did see one thing talking about CT. Zach's podcast talked about that if any of these like women had CT as their partner in this final, they would have clocked
Yeah.
everybody. That's what they
Yeah.
believed.
100%. But also, I think there was one obvious move that should have been done when it came down to the stake and the claim. And Cedric should have staked on either Sydney or Olivia. I get it. You and
Or
Michaela,
Adrian, honestly, anybody would have been better at that
anybody would
point
have been better.
just because of the ankles. I do believe I saw somewhere that Michaela said that she wouldn't have been mad at Cedric if he would have done it.
How could you?
Like,
How could you? At this point in the game?
yeah,
No.
you shouldn't. But yeah, at this point in the game, 100%, I would look at somebody and be like, but then again, they still got third. So it's like,
But but also the clear choice to make with that, I think he would have been in a better position either way. But I think the number one choice is you go for Olivia because now you're hitting Yeremi with Michaela with a bad ankle.
mhm,
And that's how you
yeah,
win. Now, doing that, you also might be putting Turbo and Sydney at number one.
yeah, a clear one, number
So it's
one.
risky. It's risky, but he would have did better than third place. But I also kind of respect the fact that, hey, this is my partner. We're going to see it through to, until the end. I think their bond is going to be really good in seasons going forward because I expect to see both of those people back.
So one thing about the advantages of everything, you know, like when we get to, well, actually, I guess we're still on day one. Let's kind of get to when jousting machine's over, right? Before stake a claim, jousting machine's over. They fly in a helicopter to their overnight stay place. And I mean, do you want to touch on when they have to go through the strobe pond of every new threat did it? Theo was kind of throwing a fit saying he's not going to do it. I mean,
It's one of two things. I get the, hey, rookie, go for a swim.
earn
And
your stripes, yeah.
that I'm okay with. But Adrian has been kind of carrying your ass during this final. You could have bit the bullet on
100%.
this one. Could have bit the bullet on this one. Even Olivia was just like, go get the key. Like,
He did tell her to shut up. He was like, shut up. Like, I'm not doing it. And I saw that and I was like, dude, careful, dude. She is 7 weeks pregnant right now, man. She will mess you up.
listen, he stood firm, and I'm okay with that. But at some time, I don't think him and Adrian's gonna have a great relationship going forward.
It's weird because in his confessionals, I think they will because we know the confessionals are done like post-production, you know, like post when they leave the show. And he speaks very highly of her. Like he gives her so much props and
He
credit.
better.
So let's just say he has probably had a lot of self-reflection. And he probably would treat her better on a second go around. He probably would listen to her more on a second go around. I mean, doesn't mistake like, you know, erase how he was doing, taking control when he should have just been listening to her. But to me, it kind of shows if they do future seasons together, they would probably work together because he sees the value in her. And she probably is going to rewatch this and notice like, okay, he was kind of an ass not listening to me during the show, but obviously he sees differently. Like, but I mean, here's the thing. If we were in a good spot, like me and my partner were in a good spot, first, second, and we were really in a comfortable area, and I was the vet, I'd ask them to do it. I would just say, "Can you go do it?" Simple
Yeah,
as that.
I get it, and
Now,
I'm not super tight of it.
if we were losing and we were at the very back, I wouldn't even look at them to do it. I would say, "I'm gonna go do it. I'm just gonna go get it done. I'm gonna go get it done. I don't care. I need to make up some time. If I think I can make up time on something, if I can do it fast or something, you know what I mean? Whatever." That's how I look. But honestly, why didn't both partners have to do it?
Why
Just
not?
make both people do it. Why do we do this in a, hey, we have partners, but only one person really has to complete it for you guys to be successful? In eliminations, dailies, finals, why? Doesn't make any
Yeah,
sense.
it didn't make any sense. They should have done it together. But then again, you kind of make, you know, you create
Drama,
a
yeah.
conflict here. Yeah. So I get it. And for that reason, I'm okay with it. Quick
So,
question. Day one, what was your favorite checkpoint?
honestly, I hate kayaking. I want to tell you this right now. Whenever I see kayaking, there's never been a part in the challenge where there's been kayaking where I'm not afraid somebody's gonna lose their life.
And,
Like,
and that river looked treacherous.
yeah. And so in my head, I go, okay, well, that's actually a really good thing because it has me on the edge of my seat. I'm like, what's gonna happen? You know, we've seen this time and time again. But overall, I there's not a single part that I think is like my favorite, except for I like just the fact of like the loop they had to do. I like
Mhm.
that in finals where okay, you're gonna run a big loop, come back here, do a game. Big loop, do a game. I like
I'm
that
also okay with
aspect
that.
because we saw like War of the Worlds 1 is like my favorite final. Like it is the best final, and they do
It's
that
a
loop.
perfect final
Yeah, and
in
so
itself.
when finals do this, I really enjoy it. You know, and overall, I mean, it was a strong day one. A lot of people said it was like, no, that's all they had to do. I bet
No,
they
that day one was thorough.
I bet they kayaked like 5 miles because they had to do it far enough where they couldn't their memory would be messed up. If it was just like a mile, they would have memorized. So like probably like 5 miles of kayaking. They probably did, I don't know, like probably like 10 miles of running, like, so
Yeah,
yeah.
I wasn't mad at day one. I thought day one was excellent, and I kind of like this format. You got day one, you got a loop, you got a bunch of checkpoints that
Mhm.
works, and day two,
Get to
you,
here.
but day one is kind of wiped out. It just determines
Yeah.
your, how day two is gonna go. And then you got just race up a mountain, and I liked it because the mountain looked difficult, but it didn't look too treacherous, too treacherous, treacherous, treacherous.
Treacherous.
Yes, thank
Yeah,
you.
you said it right a bunch of times.
What he said. I thought it was good. And I liked how the terrain was, pretty much a trail
Mhm.
to a lot of gravel to like really, really big rocks. And I thought they touched a lot of bases. It was cold, but it wasn't too cold. And it was great to watch. But I it,
And
I liked it. I liked it a
and
lot.
the big thing too is that we've seen this a bunch. We've seen this in a lot of other finals where it's like day one, you're going to do a bunch of events around something that you're going to have to climb on day two. Like they're showing you the whole time you're doing this. Hey, that thing's right there. You're going to have to go to it.
You're also in the Andes Mountain. If you're
Yeah.
thinking you're not about to climb one, you are sorely mistaken.
I saw
Um,
people that said they were upset that this final looked way too easy. And did those people, I want to say, get off your couch, go get on a treadmill for 10 minutes. And when you're over breathing too heavy and you don't know what's going on, multiply that by like 100. And that's where, I mean, 2.5 at day two, 2.5 miles up, like almost straight up. No, there wasn't like an easy path. They're stepping on rocks, jagged, ground slipping from them. Air is thin,
and
breathing
yeah,
is hard.
10,000 feet up. Just climbing up 10,000 feet
More.
is,
They were like almost 13.
yeah, that's a hell of a thing. I did Stone Mountain and it's nowhere near that. And that was treacherous and treacherous. I'm getting rid of that word out of my vocabulary. And Stone Mountain is a much more easier climb. And it's only like 1.3 miles.
Yeah, and it's for anybody that just, I mean, here's the thing. If people think it's super easy, either A, you're in really good shape, but then also B, don't use your arrogance of being in good shape to, shame other people doing stuff. And if you're not in really good shape, go hike. It's way different than going on a run or a walk. Like it is 100% different. Like if you're yeah.
One of the things I did is after we did our first day of Stone Mountain, I bought me and the wife like something like the camel packs. So we have the
Hmm.
water attached to the back. Same thing that they had in the challenge now, just to make it easier for us when we go up. And it has a little slot to hold our phones right here, so it'll be really cool. But I do want to move on to day two. And starting off day two, we definitely started off with a decent amount of controversy, and that was dealing with Cedric and Michaela's rope.
Why are we not, hey, don't lose your rope. Okay. In my tent. In my tent. I'm not going to lose it because it's in my tent. Like,
Did you
what are
think?
you
Did you
doing?
think the took the rope?
Maybe, but also he said his rope was right here. When he picked up a rope, there was a rope in that area. He grabbed his rope. So, I mean, here's what I want to know. if nobody could find the rope, and we didn't confirm that it was like in the fire, we couldn't find. Did production take the rope?
No, what I think might have
Let's
happened.
take one rope, see what 3 teams grab their rope first, and let's cause some chaos and drama and penalize somebody just to penalize somebody.
You are so nefarious, man. Only you would think of something like that. It's not a bad idea, though. It's
I
not a bad
mean,
idea. Let's steal the rope and let's just see what happens.
let's just see who's gonna grab their rope first, because there were some teams that were like Yeremi is like, hey, we got to get this. Like, we need to, let's get up, let's get ready. I got our rope. Like, it's like the first thing he did. Like, we have to have this.
Yeah. First off, that rope should have been attached to you the whole entire time. I think Theo stole the rope. I think Theo's rope is probably in his tent or something like that.
Yeah.
And
he just didn't want to look for it.
Right, but how come production didn't go and find out?
Yeah.
There's no video? Like, come on.
Because production probably did it. That's why. Because here's the thing. How often do we see? We have seen it so often. Remember back on like Rivals 3 with Camilla and Tony? They were ahead of everybody. And it was like, who did it? Who did it? And even Camilla and Tony didn't know that they cheated, by throwing somebody else's thing. And we go back and we see it. And it's like, we have video evidence of it. Especially considering, what was it, 5 minute penalty. Well, you could go back and view the tapes, give Theo and Adrian a 5-minute penalty. It doesn't change anything. It
100%.
doesn't. Somebody still gets a penalty in this situation.
It does, because they didn't. What I would have did if you was going to assess the 5-minute penalty, let everybody start where they're going to start and just take the 5 minutes from their time at the end.
I think that's the best way to do it, because then if a team finishes, they have to like count down, and it's like, it adds more drama. It's like, can they get up here in 5 minutes? Exactly. And so my thought is, because there was no video check, because like there's no reason, like, production by the time this is over, maybe cameras weren't looking, they could show us in post-production as they're editing going, Theo did pick it up and we missed it as production. And they could find the rope
afterwards. You can find the rope in somebody's tent. What, no one looked?
Or because they do it all the time, where they just like, they show where the rope's at and they just like highlight it, like a little like highlight, dim the rest of everything else, and then come back to us. And it's like, oh, it's right there. They did it during the elimination inside the airplane, member, when like Michaela and them were like, oh, we're done. And they highlighted the 2 pieces.
Mm-hmm.
So either it just burned and we don't know. It's in somebody else's tent and they didn't look, or production took it. Simple, like that's it. And if production took it, I'm not mad.
No.
Because it didn't really affect the game.
It didn't. Let me ask you, are you for or against Connect 4 in the final?
I'm okay with it. The reason why I'm okay with it is because the team that got there first got to rest before going up the final part of the mountain. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, Sydney and Turbo would have won. Sydney and Turbo had a 20+ minute lead on Yeremi and Olivia. 20+ minutes, plus had fresher legs. Like, yeah. And if we know anything, walking a path that you can destroy as you're walking is always easier as the first person, because the second person has to deal with all those weird, everything's out of place now. So,
I just remembered too, Cedric and Michaela got another 10-minute medic check that ate it up. And even though I don't think that 15 minutes changes their place too much, I think they still come in third.
I think they showed the time. I think they were like still 40 or 50 minutes behind, like from when Sydney and Turbo got there, because they kept showing that clock of how long they had been doing it. It was like over 26 hours.
Right.
And I think Sydney and Turbo ended up being like a couple minutes behind Yeremi and Olivia. But let's talk about that, where you've got to kind of, let's talk about the first checkpoint of running a long time to get to a trivia part thing. And not only is it a trivia, it's multiple choice. It's, okay, well, if you think you got this one wrong, run down to the bottom for a half a mile and back and grab your thing. But maybe you got that one right. And because that's what happened to Cedric. Cedric thought he got her middle name or her middle name wrong. Or no, her Gemini sign wrong. So he went and kept checking the Gemini sign, but actually he got her middle name wrong. He had the Gemini or something like that. Like, it was right. And so he had to make more trips. So, right there's more time they lost. But overall, I think that part. Talk about checkpoint 7.
Checkpoint, the trivia one?
Yeah, the trivia one.
I didn't love it. I'm fine with you got something to do and run down. It was fine, but it felt a little out of place to me. It felt like
Yeah,
it didn't feel like it was the right. I would been more fine with this if this was an earlier checkpoint on day one.
I think so
That
too.
and Connect Four felt really, really out of place. We did puzzles, we could do trivia, we could get all that stuff knocked out day one. Day two, let's keep it a bit more physical, let's keep it a bit more straight through. In fact, I'm totally fine if it was just to run up the mountain.
Yeah,
Because a
I
Connect Four where everybody has to wait for somebody else, and then you get a 10-minute penalty.
if we see
Terrible.
the distance, of Sydney and Turbo when they get to the Connect Four before Olivia and Yeremi, it looks like at least 5 minutes, at least a 5 minute gap. Like, so Sydney and Turbo get a 5 minute rest, then they beat Yeremi and Olivia. Then Yeremi and Olivia have to wait longer than Sydney and Turbo waited for them. Right, we can agree with that, right? When you saw that and they were
Yeah.
looking down waiting for Theo and Adrian, it looked like they had to wait another 10 minutes. So now Sydney and Turbo are 10 minutes ahead. Like, we're mad about Connect 4, but Sydney and Turbo have a 10-minute head start after they all start at the same time on day 2. Remember that. They start at the same time, and then Sydney and Turbo earned a 10-minute head start. Adrian and Theo beat Olivia and Yeremi. I see a lot of people going, how come Theo just didn't let Olivia win? Well, that's not fair to
Well,
Adrian.
it's a final.
Theo still wants to be a champion. And I will tell you right now, against both Sydney and Turbo and Adrian and Theo and Cedric and Michaela, I watched all 3 of them. Yeremi and Olivia could have won if they made a different move almost each time. Like 1 or 2 different moves. I saw a path to winning both times that they could have had 2 options to get Connect 4 and screwed over the other person. And they took the wrong move.
I love the fact that Olivia and Theo plays this game all the time at home. And she says Theo always wins, and he does just that.
I
That
thought
was
we were getting
hilarious.
set up for and she's going to finally win one. How'd she
Yeah.
win it?
It was crazy to and while watching that, I was just like, man, they're really gonna be playing for third place. As everybody beat them, and then they had to wait for that 10-minute penalty. But speaking of which, I think there's only 2 main things to really talk on, and that's Theo and Adrian failing to complete and that come from behind win. Let's start with Theo and Adrian, who I think did really, really amazing. I think Theo really stepped up and did what was best for um his girlfriend and him with defending her all throughout the season. He got thrown into elimination 4 times and came out on top every time. There's no way to bullshit around that.
He wasn't
And
supposed to be here.
yeah, exactly. I'm not mad at him. But Adrian is also kind of dragging Theo along for the final. But when it's all said and done, she's the one who just kind of just says like, we're too far behind. Like, at this point, we know we're 4th, and finishing might not be worth it right now. And I'm not
Theo
gonna
wanted
lie.
to finish. Theo
Huh?
wanted to finish.
Yeah, Theo was still good to go. But Adrian, who's kind of been, the rock and who's been kind of carrying the team through this final, I think that was it for her. I think it was all a little bit too much, and she knew. I wish they would have finished. I am a little disappointed, but I'm not super irate at them. I get it. I get it, especially as I get a little bit older and stuff too. It's
Yeah.
like, that the rest is insurmountable and there's no need to torture yourself anymore. So with that, I'll give them kind of a pass. Even though I really love it when everybody's able to go across the finish line. I don't think it was absolutely necessary, and I think they could have probably done it. And I think they just decided it wasn't going to be worth it at the time.
But we still have to applaud them because most of the time, here's the thing. If you play in a season where you never go into elimination, you 100% make a final. If you go into 1 elimination, you're probably at like a 50% chance to make a final. If you go into 2, probably 30. When you go into 3, probably like 10% chance to make it. Because that is the death sentence for most people in a challenge. When you hit that 3rd elimination, it's almost like, all right, your luck's run out. And then they hit a 4th. And that is very unheard of territory. It is such a small group. And the fact that they still won that and then made it to the final, not only that, but Theo and Olivia were targets from day 1. They were a couple in the challenge that had targets on them from everybody, from rookies, from vets, and they both made a final is insane, in my opinion. And so yes, Adrian, she carried the load on day 1. Theo carried the load on day 2. I mean, remember, Theo won the Connect 4. If he doesn't win that, they're not even close to anything, but they were in second.
Yeah.
They were in second place until Olivia and Yeremi's 10-minute penalty was up.
Yeah.
So now,
and they had a real chance too.
yeah.
But I think the best part, and I think everybody can agree on this,
Let's transition to this. Yeah.
is watching that
20,
come from
25
behind
minutes.
win. That come from behind and being so far back and just not stopping at all. You know what's crazy? It was mad inspirational. It was
It
great
was.
to watch. And moments like that is why the challenge is so worth it. It's why the challenge is so great. They just didn't stop. No fanfare, no BS. No, it's just like we're not stopping. We got to keep going. No gloating, no ego. It's who wants it more? They
Yeah.
wanted it more. Olivia wanted it more. Yeremi wasn't going to stop. They worked really, really well as a team. They figured it out. They didn't stop. How can you hate this?
And
How can you
everybody's
be
sitting
mad at
here.
this?
This is where I'm so confused with people are like, Olivia didn't deserve it. Yeremi just carried her through it, and he was dragging the whole time.
No,
She's
she
7
did her
weeks
part.
pregnant at this time, we find out. 7 weeks pregnant, which isn't, it's not, a couple months. The first trimester is pretty difficult for women and everything, about that 7 to 8 to 9 week mark, but still 7 months pregnant. We don't know what this is doing to her body. First time it's ever happened to her. She doesn't even know where she can like mentally adjust and like, oh, I'm pregnant right now. I need to kind of do this to make sure I'm not, she's just going as if she isn't. And we have to give credit. Olivia talked about this on somebody else. She did an interview with somebody 3 months before the season started. She got sober, worked out more. She wasn't drinking. She was
Came in prepared.
training. She
Her
came
versus
in
Lecca.
like this was a job.
When it was her versus Lecca, I was like, I mean, don't get me wrong. She had an amazing first season. Amazing
Yeah.
season. And then we really, and she shined with her social game. And then Ride or Dies, we seen her, really, really come through. And even though there's a whole beef with Nerese and everything, her social game also really carried a lot and really kind of quasi ran the house. Even now, her social game kept her alive enough to even get here. And she kept up when her numbers were called. Yeremi's an ultra marathon runner. She's with the shits. They
didn't really stop. From the moment that they left Connect 4, they did not stop.
And that's what it is. Everybody was taking breaks. Everybody needed a rest. And they just said, now it's go time. It was funny too, because she was just like, Yeremi was like, yeah, now it's time to really go. She's like, what the fuck you think I've been doing this whole time? Like half-assing it.
Yeah, let me just pull my extra energy out of my back.
But we always talk about being able to flip that switch.
Yes.
We talk about it in boxing. Everybody boxing. At some point, you just got to turn it on. Tom Brady, Michael Jordan, these guys are the king of LeBron James. Time to go. Time to get it in. A lot of New Yorkers are naturally born with this. Now, I know she's not a New Yorker. She's an Alaskan, so we'll forgive her. But gotta love it. I felt inspired and I felt joy watching her win.
I sent you that graphic of how far they were when they started, when they left that 10-minute mark. It is insane how far away they are. And this is one of the closest finals I've ever seen, where it's like get to a point A, point B. They passed Turbo and Sydney at 450 feet left. That is it. 450 feet
tight.
left.
That is tight.
So crazy. And not only that, where they passed them was essentially a one team can go at a time. If they get there 10 seconds later, they're waiting for Turbo to get over that little pathway or have to take a different route just to get up there.
I know Sydney was sick.
She was so mad. She was
sick.
so mad. And all the shit Turbo's been talking all season about, why do you come on this show if you're not in shape and you can't win a final? And then he gets medevaced out of there after they finish.
I'm not mad at the medevac.
I'm not mad at that either, but also it shows that he is not in a position, like him dogging on all these other competitors for not being good enough to like compete and win, and then having to get carried off in a helicopter down. It's just a little poetic,
Yeah.
and everything. I don't feel bad for Sydney because she was talking so much shit this whole time. She wanted Turbo as a partner. This is what she wanted. I will say this. Sydney killed this final.
100%.
Absolutely killed it.
100%. She talked a lot of shit and she backed it up.
Yeah.
You know,
Cedric killed this final.
absolutely, and I think he's a really, really great personality. Even though he did
100%.
some stuff that was, kind of snaky, I would love to see him go savage mode.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
I want to talk, let's talk about Yeremi for a little bit. Number one threat from episode 1.
yeah.
And
I believe they let him get to the final.
I probably can count on my hands, one hand, how many times somebody just came in brand new to the game and just everybody goes, damn, dude, they're good at everything. And
Laurel,
then they win the show. I probably can count it on my hand. Like, that's because it's so rare. Normally it's like, all right, bye. You're
even
getting out of here.
even Jordan didn't even come in with like that. I mean, people knew that he was good and he kind of proved himself a little bit, but it even took him a little bit to kind of
He
warm
didn't
up.
win till his 3rd season.
Right. Laurel was one of those people who came in and people just knew
Same.
that she was going to be a problem. You're right. It's
Laurel was like
super rare.
her 4th or 5th season before Laurel won.
Yeah, it was super rare. I mean, yeah, but they could that first season, man, she was identified as being a major threat just going in. Um, it was great to watch, man. Great to watch. I had so much fun watching this final. And I've been super busy these last 2 weeks. So I was just like, man, I might as well just watch them all at once. And it actually came down to crunch time. So I got up at like 5 a.m. and had to watch everything on 1.5 speed just to make sure in time. And I totally forgot. I was like, oh yeah, no, you're doing a podcast with Tyler. You got like 2 hours of just to do whatever. So I thoroughly, thoroughly enjoyed this final. I thoroughly enjoyed this season, even though I think this season could have been 15 episodes. But
Yeah.
it was crazy also to think that the whole shooting time was 45 days. That's
No,
what TJ said. TJ said 45 days ago, we stood here and we said this, da da
huh?
da. I was like, yo,
That's
that's wild.
crazy. That doesn't seem right. Like, it doesn't
It
seem
seems
like,
6 weeks. It seems like it was so much longer.
yeah, I guess that is, yeah, but it's crazy. Also, there's a lot of talk of that about why didn't TJ, if people didn't dive into this, they tried getting up to the top of the mountain for TJ to be up there, and it was too difficult for the vehicle to like get up there,
Yeah.
and so
I
they
mean,
just couldn't really
e
get him up there.
even with the helicopter, they had to carry Turbo down a little bit before getting
Yeah.
up there. So I definitely definitely agree with that. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's always great when you see TJ at the top with his shit-eating grin. That, of course, will always be great, but I'm okay with it. It's you know what it is? It's logistics.
And we've seen this before on X's 2 when Jordan and Sarah won.
But yeah,
That was
it's
like all rocks. He wasn't there.
yeah,
Like,
exactly. It's been done before. I'm not really too pissy at that.
so, you know how we always talk about new winners, right? That's what
Uh-huh.
we want. New winners, because I one day want a new ruins. I want to wash away what was the ruins so we can actually have a true champions versus challengers season that isn't plagued with lawsuits, sexual assault, and just disgusting behavior towards teammates, bullying, and there's so much bad stuff in that season. Over the past 10 seasons, it's not really a decade because the challenge is so fast, but over the past 10 seasons, we're going back to Final Reckoning. We've had 12 new winners. 6 women and 6 men have won in the past 10 seasons. So, which is pretty cool because that's new champions. It's first time champions. And
Where's
that's
the
including,
Dracula guy? Now that I think about it.
yeah, Emmanuel. Yeah. Well, and that's including, we have to take out of their, if we go back to 32, Ashley, she won again. So it's, that's another one that we had win. 34, we had CT and Jordan win again. So that's 3. Bananas won 35. CT won 36 and 37. And then we have the 3 winners that were all vets on eras. So that takes us to 9. So we have had 21 winners over the past 10 seasons, and 12 of them, of the 21, have been first time winners. So it's just some stats and stuff to know. And it's, yeah.
Yeah, I do think we need a couple of team seasons though. Just a couple of bigger teams, 4 or 5, generally maybe one.
Another cutthroat. 3 teams. 3 teams of 10, 5 guys, 5 girls on each team. Yep. Every episode, 2 people go home. Like, Cutthroat 2 would just go great right now. Cutthroat 2
Yeah.
would be perfect.
I would love another cutthroat. Okay,
That's a great season. If you want to rewatch
it
for
was a
anybody
great
that's like,
season.
it's such a fun season.
It really was, and for everybody who's feeling nostalgic, just all of your old school favorites, they're going to be there. And a lot of great moments. CT as a mercenary. You know, the pre beast mode Cara Maria. Sarah Rice coming out party. Abram just being fucking Abram.
Yeah.
Brad and oh damn, what's his name? He's an idiot. But what's his name?
Dunbar.
I love how you knew exactly what I was talking about. Well, that's going to wrap up season 41 of the challenge, Vets and New Threats. It's been dope. We'll be back next season. I am looking forward to the break a little bit, but I'm also looking forward to working on some other challenge stuff not so closely tied to the season. Thank you guys for rocking with us. 10% video podcast on Spotify? The fuck? Y'all talking about? I fucks with y'all. I rocks with y'all. Thank you guys so much for rocking with us right back. We're going to see you guys next season. Once again, I am MTV Malik. He is Tyler Louder. This is Love, War, Challenges. Peace.
Bye.